Hi, my name is Brian. I'm a licensed exporter and retailer and owner of a sake bar located in Yokohama, Japan. There's a wide range of styles and flavors of sake. So I know for a lot of foreigners, like myself included, reading some of the information on the front label can be a little difficult. But however, we can all read numbers. If you look on the back label, sometimes you'll find some information which will give you an indication of whether a sake is sweet or whether it's dry. That number is actually called the Nihon Shudo, or in English it's referred to as the sake meter value. This is a number that usually will fall within a range between -5 and +5. And this number is always prefaced with either a plus or minus. So if the sake meter value is 0, it will read as +/-0. And if you see that number on the back label, you can assume that that is the sake meter value, even if the other information is in Japanese. The rule of thumb, high is dry. So this number, the higher it goes, the drier the sake, generally speaking. But like everything else in the sake industry, it's not always black and white. But if anything, this is a good indicator whether you're trying to choose a sake that's either sweet or dry. I'll explain a little bit about this number. It's not a subjective number. It's actually a number that's calculated. It's often referred to as the gravity or the weight of the sake, which is actually the weight of the sugar that's in the water. Like I said, the range usually falls between -5 and +5. If you have a sake that's maybe a -4, -5, you may assume that it might lean a little bit on the sweeter side. If the sake is like maybe a +5 or +6, you can assume it's probably a little bit dry. So it does go beyond that range, and sometimes that's referred to in the dry sections as cho karakuchi, which would be like a super dry sake, and that would be something that would be in the range of maybe like a +10 to +15, or even a little bit higher than that. And there's some sake that will even go down to like a -15 or -20, would be a really, really sweet sake. However, to balance that out, you'll often find that the acidity level, which will be a little bit higher if it's that sweet, to kind of help balance that out. Talking about the acidity level, also often referred to as in Japanese as the sando. This is a number that usually falls between 1.0 to 2.0. That's a typical range. The acidity level of sake is relatively low when you compare it to wine. Wine has about 1/3 higher the acidity that sake contains. Sake is more about umami, wine's more about acidity. The typical range for the acidity level for sake would probably fall between 1 and 2. Rarely you'll find something that really exceeds that 2.0 number. When you do find that, you'll see that it's probably getting more like a wine-like sake. And sometimes that'll be balanced out with a little bit more sweetness.